Hello, everyone. Welcome to another week of subconscious reprogramming. This week's recording is actually going to be a pre-recording. I'm not able to do the live workshop, and I apologize. I have a family situation that has come up, aka my kids are sick, and so I am not able to do a live workshop for you guys, but I still wanted to present this information. So I am doing this recording this morning, and I'm going to try to figure out how to put it on the Zoom link uh, so that you can still have the recording, either if you log in or if you cannot attend and you are interested in getting um, if you're still interested in getting the workshop, you will get the copy of it. So I wanted to just start to share my screen. I'm going to go off view here and try to start to share my screen. I hope that everyone is having a good week, and I yes, like I said, I'm navigating sick kiddos, and so I am not able to do this in real time, but hoping that this will still offer you guys some inspiration and just give you guys some things to work on while we are working on setting our goals. So let's get into presentation mode. Presentation. Okay, so you guys, this week is about goal setting. And I have to say that honestly, I think that the goal setting portion of this workshop is quote unquote is the shortest and is the easiest, because I think that we all know how to set goals, right? Like I think it's just one of those things that's in our lexicon, it's in our world, um, that we want to achieve things. We want to grow, we want to challenge ourselves, we want to evolve. And so goal setting is kind of the quote unquote the easy thing. It's about, for me, recognizing the landmines and recognizing the things that are going to happen to try to sabotage our attempts at reaching our goals. So I spent a lot of time last week on self-sabotage and understanding self-sabotage and understanding that our subconscious is going to do everything in its power to get you to stay comfortable and to keep the status quo and to keep you at baseline of what it knows and what it is comfortable with. And so, as long as you have awareness that your subconscious is going to actively work to sabotage you, AKA keep you safe, AKA keep the status quo, you now have a foundation with which to then say, okay, now that I'm really going to set some goals, I can be aware of what's going to happen so that I can be prepared and keep going and not give up and not get distracted and not get deflected. So, and I'm going to take a sniff of a different take on goal setting, because I think what's typically out there is the sort of like the SMART goals, right? The specific, measurable, the achievable, the realistic, the I think it's trackable. I think it is. I don't I don't know because I don't follow SMART goals, but I do think, listen, setting goals is important, right? I think if you cannot identify something that you want, you then cannot take active steps to work on the thing that you want. And the thing that I will say too with goal setting is, I think for a lot of us, we want things, right? We sort of want we want a better life. We want more money. We want a better job. We want to be married. We want to have great relationships. We want to, have more flexibility. We want to have freedom. And these are very vague um, goals. And I think we just inherently want a better life. But if you don't identify very specific goals, you don't know then how to prioritize your day and how to set your day. So I feel like I need to say those things. I think it is important that if you truly want to achieve something, the goal, weight, the relationship, the promotion, you have to set really specific goals that help you stay focused and help your subconscious have something to work on. So one of the things that I really heavily lean into is identifying the type of goal, right? And if we want to really shock our subconscious a little bit, we have to identify what is known as a C type goal. An A type goal is the type of goal where you say, I'm going to lose 20 pounds in a year, and that's very realistic. And if I just, skip the 3,500 calories, or I reduce my calories by 500 calories a day, then I have a path. It's a very safe path to getting to my goal. If I just go back to school and work hard and take the classes and do the thing, I will get the promotion in a year, right? Like that's a type A type of goal where you can see a very clear path to getting the thing you want. Then there is the B type goal where it's a little uncomfortable, it's a little scary, it's a little like, yeah, I want to lose the 50 pounds in 6 months, for my wedding, or, I want to make $100,000 in 6 months so that I could pay for this thing, this trip. Yeah, like you could still see a path forward. It might be a little bit difficult, but you could still see a path forward. And then there is the C type goal, which is the kind of goal that scares the heck out of you. And it should scare the heck out of you. And I say these things understanding that when you say something that is C type, AKA crazy, a C type goal, that your subconscious is going to go haywire. It's going to be like, what are you doing? It is like, this is completely the opposite of what are we saying? What do you mean you want to make $1 million in 6 months? How are we going to do that? What are you talking about? Right. I want you to try to identify a C type goal, the type of goal that you have no business asking for. You have no business like thinking that you could actually get this thing done. AKA, I want to go to the moon within a year. I want to build a car that will be completely electric in a year. I want to lose 100 pounds in 6 months. It is it questions all reality, right? And that is the type of goal that I want you to identify for yourself. Not to say that you shouldn't identify maybe those incremental type A, type B type goals. If you're identifying goals personally and professionally, maybe you want to do a type A goal in one domain and then a C type goal in another. But I think you want to identify a C type goal, a quote unquote crazy goal that you have no business asking for, but it's something that you really, really want. So for me, I will share that I want to, in the next 5 years, make 1 million moms millionaires. Yeah, that is my C type goal, right? I have no idea how I'm going to do that. I don't know why I have any business coming up with that goal, but that is my goal. I want to make 1 million moms millionaires within the next 5 years. Okay. I'm not a millionaire. I'm nowhere close to a millionaire, but I am a mom and I know a lot of moms. And I just know that if we had some sort of financial flexibility or financial freedom, that our lives could just be vastly improved. And so that's my C type goal. And I want you to have a C type goal. Now, I'm giving you a very lofty goal, right? Professionally, I'm giving you a very lofty goal, but I could also say to you that I want to be a millionaire in a year. I've never even touched it. I don't know what it looks like, but I want that in the next year. And so when I can achieve that, I've never made more than 5 figures ever in my life, but I'm going to be a millionaire. I'm going to hit 7 figures in the next year. I don't know how I'm going to do that, but this is my goal. That's my C-type goal. That's my crazy goal. So I'm setting it out there. I'm encouraging you to set out a C-type goal. And that's the goal that you want to really gnaw your teeth into. Okay. So after you identified a C-type goal, you're going to make a decision and you're going to commit. Now, when I say make a decision and commit, it has to be something where it's like there is no plan B, right? There is no plan B. And when I say the type of make a decision and commit, I'm not saying to you, you go into your boss's office and you quit the job and you're going to live on hopes and dreams, on aspirations that you're going to become the next, Michelangelo in 6 months. That is not what I'm saying. If that's what you want to do, have at it. That's not what I'm saying. I am saying that I want you to have a C-type goal, and then you're going to make a decision and commit to seeing that goal come through. There is no giving up. There is no quitting. There is no like, well, if this doesn't work out, part of this, what you're saying to yourself is you're going to make a decision. You're going to make a decision to become a millionaire in a year. You're going to make a decision and you're going to commit to that decision. Okay. And so what happens is that you have put your subconscious on notice. Your subconscious is going to actively work to sabotage you, but you are going to make the decision and commit to this big, scary type goal. And I could go into like a whole diatribe and go off on a whole tangent about like the universe and manifestation, and that because I believe in that stuff too. But for the sake of from a cognitive behavioral standpoint, from a science standpoint, making a decision increases the likelihood that you're going to achieve the goal. And hey, guess what? Even if you get 75% of the way there or 50% of the way there, that's 50% further than you were going to get if you just kept a safe goal, right? And so when you make a scary type goal and then you make a decision to commit, you now are helping your subconscious prioritize how you're going to schedule your days and how you're going to schedule your choices, right? Because once you make the decision and commit to it, you now are telling your subconscious to start to focus on these very specific things and not on all of the randomness and all of the sort of like ADHD type brain thoughts that kick in and you get distracted and you get diverted and then you don't accomplish your goals because you've got to go to Walmart and you've got to do this and then you got pulled into this. Like I said, for me, I got this emergency that happened and I could very easily say, I'm not going to do this workshop today, but I'm still going to make the decision to do the recording because I've made a commitment to do a 4-week workshop and this is what I'm doing. So I'm making the decision and I'm figuring out how to make it work. This is what I'm modeling for you and inspiring for you, right? You make the decision and you commit. By making the decision and committing, you start to activate your reticular activating system. Now, I don't know how many of you have heard that, but this is in the world of subconscious programming. We utilize this theory all the time when it comes to helping you reprogram your subconscious. So what is the reticular activating system? So the reticular activating system, RAS, is a network of neurons in the brainstem, that regulates attention and alertness, right? It is kind of like the cocktail party syndrome where you sort of know your name and out of like all of these things that could be happening, when you hear your name, you're like become alert and aware because your brain has activated neurons to recognize its name and to recognize things, that it is alert to. It's also like when you say to yourself, oh, like I've noticed that I've been seeing a lot of white cars. And then you just start to see white cars everywhere. And you're like, what is happening right now? You have activated your reticular activating system to start to like all of a sudden for no reason. Again, it doesn't know, it doesn't have a rhyme or reason, but you've just started to say, I'm noticing a lot of white cars, and you will find white cars everywhere. It is also kind of like we could go Big Brother scary version where you could either be thinking something or saying something, and then all of a sudden you start to see commercials or things start to pop up on your phone, or you start to see like ads for things that you either Googled or said out loud or were talking about in conversation. You all of a sudden you're starting to get ads about like this thing that you were talking about or even may have been thinking about, right? And and what might be not scary, but like besides the whole Siri is listening to us and our Alexa is listening to us, like the reality is your brain is listening to you. And so if you said, I want to be a millionaire, all of a sudden you start to like, get these books or this, that, and the other, or get YouTube videos or commercials about millionaires. It's like you've activated your reticular activating system, right? Now you've given your brain some sensory directions so that it can focus on what is quote unquote important, right? So this is how you activate the reticular activating system. And this is why I say, you know, identify a C-type goal. If you identify some quote unquote crazy goal that you're like, I want to be a millionaire in 6 months, guess what? Your brain is going to start to filter out all of the tens of thousands of pieces of information that come at you, and you will start to be attuned to listening, like, oh, am I hearing somebody talking about being a millionaire? You'll start to get books that sort of say like, oh, millionaire secret habits, or how to lose the 10 pounds in 20 days, or you're just going to start to notice that you're going to be presented with information and opportunities to help you explore further the goals that you set for yourself, right? So again, if you think about our brain receives, between 50, or we have between 50,000 and 70,000 thoughts a day. And then on top of that, we get millions of pieces of information that come at us between the news, between commercials, between social media, between our kids, between, like just responsibilities at work. We are getting inundated with information, and how do you decide what's important and what's not important, right? And think about this. If you have goals, if you want to be healthy, if you want to focus on losing the weight, or you want to get the promotion, but then you're inundated with like, oh, I need permission slips, or I need this, or I need you to do this right now, or I need you to do that. Well, the likelihood that you're going to be able to focus on your goals becomes very slim, right? But if you activate your reticular activating system, that will help, your subconscious will help you prioritize what is important. It will help to filter out the information that will direct your attention to what your brain perceives as important. So if you say to your brain, your subconscious, I want to make $1 million. I want to lose 50 pounds. I want to meet my soulmate. I want to I want, right? Be very clear and be very specific. You are now going to send your subconscious on a mission to find the things, to find the information that will help you achieve your goals. Okay. It will start to direct your attention towards things, and it will like seemingly these things will drop out of the sky, right? Because it's like, whoa, all of a sudden I started to ask about writing a book. And I don't know, I just got in my inbox, a workshop about book writing, or I got an ad for this, that, and the other. All of a sudden, the ads were always there. You just couldn't focus on it because you had a million other things happening. It was always there. You just never noticed it because you never directed your subconscious to those things because they weren't really things that you wanted, right? And you probably did sort of say, oh, I would love to have this thing, and you get presented with all kinds of opportunities, but you get overwhelmed and you just kind of delete it, or you ignore it, or you just miss out on opportunities to actually get the thing that you want. So By activating your reticular activating system, by identifying a goal and making a decision and then writing it down, you are now sending your subconscious on a mission to achieve the goals that you want, right? It allows you to then concentrate on the relevant tasks and pursue the goals, okay? Because the reticular activating system is a key player in our decision making, okay? So, how to apply like the reprogramming in our reticular activating system in real world situations. One of the things is that you do a daily review, you track, right? You make a decision that every day you are going to devote some time and attention to the goal, right? Whether it's journaling, whether it's weighing yourself, whether it's making a decision that you're going to network every day, whether you're making a decision that you're going to do something every day, and you may not know what the specific thing is, but you're just going to bring your awareness every day to the thing that you want. Okay. And by saying, and I'm saying this clearly, you still don't know how you're going to do the thing, right? I'm going to use myself as the example. I don't know how I'm going to become a millionaire in a year. I have no idea how that's going to happen. I have no idea how I'm going to make a million moms millionaires. I have no idea. However, every day I say to myself, this is my goal, that I'm going to be a millionaire in a year, and then I'm going to make moms millionaires within the next 5 years. Like, that's just what it is. Okay. I don't know how I'm going to do it. I just know that every day that I wake up, it is like, this is my goal. This is my goal. Okay. I am going to then feed my mind with positive thoughts, right? I'm like, I can do this. This is possible. This is possible. I can do this. I don't know how, but it is possible, right? I'm going to meditate and visualize. I'm going to visualize what that looks like to be a millionaire, what my life looks like as a millionaire, what my life looks like, maybe setting up workshops or having groups or having these retreats where I work with all these moms, or I'm logging into Zoom and like I'm like really working in group tandem, like where I have an assistant and I'm telling her to help, respond to these emails, right? Like, these are the things that I'm visualizing. Again, I don't know how I could somehow make millionaire. I could become a millionaire by creating some wicked dance party that, like, I mean, I like dancing, but I don't know how to dance, but like somehow I'm going to create some sort of wicked workout routine that is just going to make me a millionaire. That could happen. I don't know I don't know, but that could be the way that I become the millionaire, right? And then I teach other moms how to do this wicked dance routine, and that's how they become millionaires. I have no idea. However, the idea is that I sit in silence, I meditate, I say to myself, this is what I want. This is what I want. I take my breaks. I check in on my goals. Like, it is almost obsessive, and I will get to the being obsessive about it, like separate than just being mindful, right? It is saying to myself, saying to the universe, saying to my subconscious that this is what I want. Okay. I am just going to focus on cultivating positive and nurturing relationships. They don't have anything to do with whether or not they're going to help me achieve my goal. It's just like, I need to feel good. I need to feel nurtured. I need to feel supported. I'm building my personal relationships so that I can support myself in my dream and support myself in my goal. Okay. Limit your interruptions. Limit the type of content that makes you second guess yourself, that makes you doubt, that makes you afraid. Okay. Ask yourself about your fear. Like, sit with it, acknowledge that I'm scared. I have no idea how I'm going to do this. I don't know what, I don't know. I'm scared. What if this doesn't work out? Like, ask yourself about it. And then it's just telling yourself, I need to reframe that this is just me having fear about something that I don't know yet how to do. Okay. But if you allow yourself to sit in fear, you can then reframe the fear about not achieving the goal to just sort of say, I just don't know how yet. Okay. And when you can say to yourself, I just don't know how yet, you again then give your subconscious the ability to say, like, well, let's help her find out how to accomplish the thing. Let's help give her some skills or some tools or some opportunities to to figure it out. Okay. Journaling. Again, part of the journaling, I recommend you do 3 pages every day and you just sit in silence with the 3 pages of a journal and you just write out. And maybe the one half a page is going to be, I don't know, I don't know, I don't know, I don't know, I don't know. I'm afraid, I'm afraid, I'm afraid, I'm afraid. Okay. Allow your subconscious to work through the fear, to work through the you can't do this, to work through who do you think you are, work through all of the discomfort, and you will be amazed that probably by page 2 or page 2.5, you all of a sudden, like the idea may present itself. It may be the like, what if? It may be the thing that comes through that sort of says, okay, I think we actually can do this, right? Like we've gotten through we've exhausted the subconscious telling us all of the reasons and the ways why this thing can't work out. And then you might have this half a page where you get the idea that says, maybe this thing can work itself out, right? Maybe this can work itself out. So allowing yourself to journal every day on not even the goal. Like, I mean, you can do that, but just allowing sitting down and saying to yourself, I'm going to sit for 20 minutes and just journal. You will be amazed at like the clutter that just comes through that then allows you to say, okay, are we done now on all of this clutter and this overwhelm and this nonsense? And like now, here's a suggestion or here's an idea that might work that you might want to try. Okay. And this is where, again, taking breaks, giving yourself the space to just take some deep breaths. If you don't have the hour for lunch, can you find 5 minutes to just give yourself some space to just say, okay, what is my goal again? What is it that I want? Okay. Okay. All right. Like, did I do anything today to work towards that? No. Okay. Yes. Great. Like, can we do some more? Not really. Or we still have some opportunity to do something with the rest of the day, to achieve our goals. Okay. And then finally, it is being grateful. You cannot allow the new goals and the new habits and the new behaviors to form if you are living in a space of scarcity, if you are living in a space of I'm not good enough, if you're living in a space of I'm dumb, I'm this, I'm that, I'm this. It's just like, what can you be grateful for in this moment today? Okay. What can you say to yourself that even though I'm not like like I'm getting better. I'm getting better. And this is what is great about my life right now. Okay. Again, you are giving yourself the opportunity to focus on what is working and not so much on what is not working. Because the reality is that, yeah, things are happening in our lives that are not working, but there are also things that in our lives that are working. And so you want to bring your attention, again, your subconscious programming onto the things that are working, which then could say to yourself, maybe there's some more things that I could do to work more on the things that I do want, right? Because I'm grateful for these things that I have. I am so grateful for the gas station attendant. I'm grateful for water. I'm grateful for electricity. I'm grateful for a calculator. I'm grateful for my phone and internet. I'm grateful for my five senses. I'm grateful for gum. I'm grateful for grocery stores. I'm grateful for money. I'm grateful for my body. I'm grateful for what my body is able to accomplish. Yes, it's not where like at my quote unquote goal weight, but like, man, my body can do such great kick-ass things. I'm actually grateful for my crazy boss because they are teaching me this is not the boss that I want to be when I have my own situation. I am grateful because they are teaching me what I do not want to be. I am grateful for this adversity because it is teaching me to appreciate what I do have, right? When you can bring awareness to gratitude, even in adversity, you allow yourself to say, okay, I can get back up and I can do hard things and I can keep going, right? It allows yourself to support the idea that you can do more with what you have. And then guess what? When you get more, you will be more grateful because you were already grateful in the space that you currently are in. Okay. So that's part of the goal setting. Recognizing that in goal setting, you have to embrace the idea that you are going to fail your way to the top. Okay. I think that a lot of times we get discouraged because we push ourselves to show up. It's like, okay, I've set this goal. I'm going to give it 110%. There is no chance for failure. There is no opportunity for setbacks. Like I'm all in. And then guess what? Either your subconscious wants to sabotage, or life happens, or you are tired that day, or hormonally you're just not feeling it, or like life happens, right? And you just don't show up that day, or you just show up half-assed, and you're like, that's it, I'm a failure, I don't blah blah blah, right? And then you kind of revert back to what was I thinking? I shouldn't have even tried to do the thing, right? It's like, no, 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 no. You already knew that there were going to be setbacks. And so you are prepared for that. And you can say, okay, I knew today was going to be a setback, but what can I still do to set myself up for success, right? And I look at it as, you know, success is not like linear. It is this sort of like slow progression to the top, right? It's going to be 3 steps forward, 2 steps back, 3 steps forward, 2 steps back, 3 steps forward, 2 steps back. Like that's the point. Is that, and that's that seeing for that reason. You're going to have 3 steps forward, 2 steps back, but you're still moving forward. You're failing your way to the top, right? It's saying to yourself, just show up. Okay. Like imagine that. I think a lot of times we see the goal as like the target, right? We got to hit the dart like right in the center of the target. And if you don't even hit the target, it's just like, oh, well, like this is a disaster. I shouldn't have even tried. The fact that you even showed up, you have to give yourself credit for showing up. If this is going to be a lifelong change, there is no end point. Okay. You're always growing, you're always evolving, you're always improving, and there is no end goal. So, as the faster that you can say to yourself that this is going to be a journey, and it's very cliche. It's a journey. And so the 3 steps forward, 2 steps back, like welcome to the world of goal setting. Okay. Like this is what it is. Like you're going to have the setbacks. You're not going to be able to work out at 110%. You're not going to be able to, eat as healthy as you will. You will probably just go off the rails today on your diet, or like revert back to being a jerk, and yelling and doing the thing you didn't want to do. That's part of the journey, right? But just showing up, like that's a win. That's in the win column. Just show up. And I can only say the only way that I can describe this, in a way that puts in perspective for me. So for a long time, I was doing Bikram yoga, which is hot yoga, and it is the same 26 moves. It is a 90-minute class in a hot steaming room, but it is the same 26 moves. And I will tell you, that I could go every day, and every day that I showed up, the way that my body looked in those 26 moves, I swear to you, was different every time I stepped on the mat. Okay. And the reality is that some days I was more energized. Some days I was stressed. Some days I was not well hydrated. Some days I just didn't have it. Some days it was just not happening. Some days I kicked ass and took names, right? But I showed up every day. I did the 26 moves. I allowed my body to tell me what it needed, and I went accordingly, I aligned accordingly, but I still showed up. Okay. And even though it was the same 26 moves, every day that I showed up on the mat, it looked completely different. And I say this to say, we all have 24 hours in a day, right? Those 24 hours are going to look different every day. But as long as you show up and you sort of say, okay, I just showed up, right? I ate pizza, but I also ate broccoli. I put, like I drank more water. I just had all pizza, but I ate broccoli. I didn't go to my course today to develop my skill set, but I did the readings. I journaled about my goal. I made only one phone call instead of the 10 that I said I was going to make. Whatever it is, right? The fact that you showed up is winning, right? Because inherently, if you just keep showing up, you will achieve your goal. You will achieve your goal. Okay. Like, so it's not about hitting the target 100% of the time, every time. It's just showing up. I have heard people, like more successful people than me. I have heard writers talk about they force themselves to go into a room for 2 hours a day, and that's all they're allowed to do. They're not allowed to not, I don't feel like writing today. That's great. You're still going to go in your office and you're still going to just sit there for 2 hours because that's what you do. You just sit there for 2 hours. And some days you're going to bang it out of the park, and some days you're going to barely get a page written. Okay. But you showed up for 2 hours, and then inherently, and you're not allowed to do anything else for those 2 hours because you made a commitment to writing every day. And so you're going to do that, right? So whether maybe it's like you didn't write in your office, maybe you wrote in bed or you wrote in the car or whatever it is that you committed to, you just commit to it for whatever it is that you made the commitment for. And so you just say, I'm going to show up. Now, what shows up may be a disaster, and then you have to clean it up or you have to do whatever, but you showed up and you steered yourself in the direction of achieving your goal. So that's what it has to be, right? I'm still doing this workshop, even though I can't do it live because life happened, right? It's a setback that I'm navigating through today, but I'm still showing up to record this workshop so that I can say to you and I can say to myself, I did my Friday workshop. I did it. Okay. It's not how I wanted it to be, but I showed up, I did it. Okay. And that's the point. You just repeat, 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 repeat. And then you repeat some more. Because even when you show up that day, it's not going to be 110%. It might be 50%, but you just showed up. Okay. And inherently, by just repeating the habits, you then just become that person, right? The goal is not to just achieve the goal and be done. The goal is to become the person that you ultimately want to be. And so I don't care if you say you want to be a writer and you only wrote 2 pages today, like it's in the win column. You showed up, you're a writer. That's what writers do. They show up and they write every day. Okay. Like that's it. So part of the journey is recognizing that you have to fail your way to the top, but you just take the 3 steps forward, 2 steps back, and that's it. And you just show up. So that's what I have for you today. I appreciate you very much. I thank you for your grace in allowing me to present this material. in a recorded fashion. And I would love to support you. You have my email address. I would love to hear your insights, any comments, any feedback, any questions that you have. And yeah, I hope that you enjoy this, and I will see you in the next workshop. The last workshop is going to be next week, the 25th, at which time, if you are interested in pursuing this and in kind of doing a greater community um, form in this, I'm working on that. I'm working on trying to build community so that we have support because again, this can be challenging, right? Like achieving your goals, working through your subconscious, self-sabotaging. These can be challenging things, and I am all in and committed to providing some sort of community for us to achieve our goals. So after this workshop, I am working behind the scenes to try to create some sort of community and possibly some one-on-one work with you guys for you to be interested in. So stay tuned for that. I will be trying to share that information in next week's workshop, but if not, I will definitely just be updating my website and my social media to reflect, any new updates. So enjoy. Have a great rest of your week, your rest of your Friday, your weekend, and I will see you guys next week. Take care, guys. Bye.